Hello guys, welcome to Rex Arthur TV. This is the Rex Arthur Show, the LGBTQ channel that discusses LGBTQ issues with an LGBTQ perspective in an LGBTQ planet. So we are gonna change that, and actually we're gonna be calling it in an LGBTQ plus planet, because congratulations to the world. The world is LGBTQ plus planet. It is an LGBTQ plus planet. And today we are going to do roll call. And we are going to look at the countries that are out and the countries that are closeted. A country that is out is a country that gives LGBTQ persons ability and freedom to have sex and marry. And countries that are closeted are countries that have LGBTQ persons but do not allow them to have sexual relations legally. Now, what you need to understand about that is that a closeted country, when you're a closeted country, it doesn't mean you don't have homosexuals. That's what you need to understand. It's that you put them underground. So in all closeted countries, the LGBT community generally, there are some who are out, but generally are underground. But in the out countries, even though they are still underground LGBTQ persons in out countries, they are majority are out. Now, what do I mean by that? They are out in the sense that they can have same-sex marriage, they can have same-sex relations, they can go to a hotel and have same-sex relations without any speculation of anything. So that's what has happened in the out countries. Now, in the closeted countries, it's different. The closeted countries, you do everything underground. So nobody knows what's happening, or few people know what's happening. And so some countries look like they're going to remain closeted for some time because of very many factors: cultural factors, religious factors, historical factors, and others. But other countries have already come out because of the same factors, but primarily because of the scientific factor. The scientific factor is the education factor. The fact that the people in power understand homosexuality and transgenderism and queerism and all of the pansexuality and intersexuality. They understand it very well. And the population, there is a sizable population that understands that science. Now, in closeted countries, the sad truth is most of the population does not understand sexual science. And what do we mean by understanding? We mean the literate understanding, the scientific understanding, the Western science system. Now, as I said in my other video, diversity matters. So some people have, everything in the world is diverse. Every system has its another system. That's what you need to understand. Even personalities. Have you noticed in psychology, not everybody is choleric or melancholic or sanguine or phlegmatic. You know, everybody is something of the other. So that's a sign of diversity. Diversity exists everywhere, and even in one person, even in one person, you can have diverse personalities, diverse thoughts, diverse ideas, all of that. And I said, once you've hit if you break the diversity code, you've broken the whole of science. You've now understood many things. So now that's what has happened. Now, back to what I was saying. So there's diversity of education. Now, in the Western world, education is not passed on to others like in other parts of the world. That's what happened in Africa. You cannot say Africans were not educated in the past, or Asians were not educated in the past, and South Americans were not educated. They were educated, but their type of education was not Western education. You see, in Africa, they valued oral education. What I mean by oral, you don't sit in a classroom. You're taught songs, you're told stories, whenever you're taught about life, you will sit together in a group and you discuss. So they were very oral oriented in their teaching. They were not so literate. Literate, and what I mean by literate, it is writing, English, writing, even your mother tongue, African mother tongues. Like, one thing that shows you Africans did not write or did not think of writing, they write their languages in Latin language. Yeah. So it was, and it's understandable. You're not forced. I mean, why do you force somebody to write? You can live life without writing. Yeah, you can live life without writing. You can be very educated and you can't write. I mean, look at Jesus. Jesus was a religious genius, in the sense, if he said all that he said and did, Jesus was a genius. He was a religious genius. He was a social genius. And he has no book. He has written nothing. Absolutely no book. No book was left by Jesus, but they wrote about him. So was he dumb? He wasn't dumb, because when you look at the language and what he speaks, people used to marvel at his wisdom, but he didn't have a book. So what does that mean? You can be wise without even writing. Yes, you can be educated without even writing. And you can also be educated and you can write. And so what I'm trying to say is diversity of education systems. So the problem of this diversity of education systems is that when Africa and Asia were colonized, the colonialists came with their system, their education system, and they infiltrated that system. They put the system in the people. Now, not everybody accepted that system, but majority forcefully went into the system, that Western education system. Now, what happened is, then the colonialists didn't last for long in Africa. And when they did that, they left. Now, the African was saying, okay, let's try this system. So they stayed in the system. Then when they came, as years have gone on, they've started they have learned about their lifestyle in the ancient history, and realized that no, actually, there is something we are beginning to learn. There are some things we like that we used to do in the past, and were called bad by the colonialist. So what has happened is now, even if you remember in the Rastafarian movement, they had what is called back to my roots. So people now started going back to African ways after the Western education system, after understanding that the Western education was not their system. So it's basically, and now right now what we are having is, we are having diverse Africans. There are Africans who value the Western education, and personally, to me, I tolerate everybody. I mean, if you want to be westernized and you value it, you value Western education, please go ahead, because that's what you see is good. And then there are others who do mixture. syncretism or a mixture of education systems. You can borrow from the West, borrow from Asia, borrow from Africa, borrow from South America, and then you pick the good things in those education systems. Then others value going back to my roots. They have shunned Western education completely. They don't even want to hear a word about it. They don't want to hear even Asian education system. They don't want to hear a word about it. They want to go back to their African education system. And others go to the tribal, leave alone Africa, tribal education system. And they stick to that. So everybody is free to do what they want there. Now, so back to LGBT rights. So the problem of that diversity of education system, it creates diversity of laws, diverse societies, diverse understandings, so diverse communication systems. Basically, the world is now diversified, and it is the reason why not everything happens at the same time. Like we wish all countries in the world just accepted LGBT rights once and for all. We'd not be talking right now. Look at the map. Let's begin. Look at the map. You see how colorful it is? It is colorful because of diversity of thought and diversity of legislation. And this map is saying worldwide laws regarding same-sex intercourse and freedom of expression and association. I like that. I like the map's title. Yes, being LGBTQ is about same-sex intercourse and same-sex and freedom of expression, which is in the Constitution, and freedom of association, which is also in the Constitution. So all constitutions in the world actually respect LGBTQ persons without them, and even without writing LGBTQ in the Constitution. All the constitutions in the world, they respect them through the constitutional right of freedom of expression and freedom of association. Why? Why freedom of expression? Because you are innately born who you are sexually. There are people who are naturally born transgender, in the sense that they feel like they want to be a woman, but they were born a man. That's a transgender, naturally. Innate, he was born like that. No one told him to be trans. That's how he is. And others, the homosexual, he has sex with the same sex, the same person with the same sex. That is a homosexual. Innate. It's innate. There is nothing he's cheating or he has been taught, someone has poisoned him with knowledge. No, that's who they are. And then you have the queers and the bisexuals. It is innate, it's in them, it's natural. So the freedom of expression is based on innate. It's based on the fact that freedom of expression is an inalienable right. It cannot be taken away from you because you are born with it. When a baby is born in the world, the baby is born with freedom of expression and freedom of association. When they grow up, they have a right to associate with anyone they want to. Even marriage is based on freedom of association. You should marry whom you want. Because you can even sue someone who forces you to marry somebody you don't want. That one is suable based on the constitutional right of freedom of association. Because you want to associate with somebody else and somebody doesn't want you to associate with them. This is why countries like India are in trouble with the caste system. In the caste system, you're not allowed to marry outside your caste. You must marry your caste, your class. If the person is rich, You must marry a rich person. So that is a wrong way of doing it. You don't marry, you allow people to associate with whomever they want to associate with. That's how you do it. Now, so as I've told you, look at the map. It is so diverse, different colors. And so that's the diversity. And then you can see most of South America is deep blue, and Europe and Australia and South Africa, meaning this is the key for the map. Marriage, civil unions, same-sex unions not recognized, same-sex intercourse illegal, up to life imprisonment, death penalty, imprisonment, laws restricting freedom of expression and association, unregistered cohabitation, and marriages recognized but not performed. So let's focus on marriage and marriage, which is sex. Yes, basically, marriage is sex. It's not marriage. It's not what people think. People think when they hear the word marriage. You see, that's what I'm trying to say about diversity of education. When people hear marriage, they think it is about wearing a gown. They call marriage wedding, and that's not marriage. Marriage is union, sexual union. So when you have sex, that is a marriage. Yes, it is not a wedding. So there's nothing. People confuse marriage with wedding. When you tell them gay marriage, they think it is going to be a gay wedding. No. You can get married without a wedding. Yes, without a wedding. So that is what people need to understand. Now, so the countries that are in the red zone, red, orange, and I like how they've done this map very nicely, because in the color spectrum, red, orange, and yellow are actually infrared colors. Then blue, indigo, and violet are actually ultraviolet colors. They belong to the ultraviolet. Then green happens to be the balanced color. It's in the middle, balanced. So some countries have, you can be very ultraviolet and infrared. So infrared colors, these are colors that are close to red. Orange and yellow are close to red. And blue and indigo are close to violet. But green is in the middle. Green is in the middle. It's a mixture. Green is a mixture of red and blue. That gives you green. No, sorry. I mean, green is in the middle. It's a middle primary color. No, red and blue gives you purple or violet. Good. So, when you see blue, these are countries that support gay sex. And then the countries in orange, red, and yellow, these ones they do not support gay sex. So this is the thing. So Africa and the Middle East are basically anti-gay sex. And the West, that's Europe and America and South America and Australia, they are pro-gay sex. Now, then laws restricting freedom of expression. Now, Russia is a weird one. This is Russia and China. They are the weird countries. Yes, because this is India, and that is China, and up there is Russia. Now, Russia have a weird color. Theirs is, they've given them a very weird color, and they only have laws restricting freedom of expression. So they know they have LGBTQ persons, but they don't allow them to express their sexuality, and they don't allow them to associate in groups that are LGBTQ. So Russia is kind of playing the ambiguous game with China. They are playing a game of double standards. And that's what has happened to China. Now, Let's go to the second map. The second map is saying the LGBTQ rights at the United Nations. Beautiful map also. Now, all countries are in the United Nations, and UN is telling us the countries that support, and they have also done what I said. I think they follow what I was saying, that you put blue there. You know, blue stands for entering ultraviolet zone, and red is infrared. So the supporters of LGBTQ rights, again, is the same. Europe, the West, meaning America and Europe, and then South America, and then Australia. And then those who oppose LGBTQ rights, these are states which supported an opposing declaration in 2008 and continued their opposition in 2011 at the United Nations, is the red countries, which is mostly African countries, especially Northern Africa, Western Africa, Eastern Africa, and Southern Africa only has Zimbabwe. Now, we are very happy for South Africa. It is standing for, and parts of, that's a country above Congo, not Central Africa Republic. That looks, we'll get to remind ourselves the map of Africa. Anyway, now, South Sudan hasn't said anything. Yes, so we hope they think. And you know, South Sudan, they don't have issues. Historically, culturally, they don't have an issue in some quarters. Good. So basically, the West is supporting LGBT rights, and the East, or the Middle East, that includes Africa, because Africa is in the middle, and is together in Middle East, and therefore the Eastern world is a bit divided. So when you can see the Western world is united, they support LGBT rights. The Eastern world is divided. Some support, some don't support. Some are the gray ones. They do not support, neither do they give any declaration. So, good. Now, let's do roll call. Of course, these laws include same-sex relationships, same-sex marriages, civil unions and domestic partnerships, and adoption by LGBTQ parents, anti-discrimination laws, you know, in employment, housing, public accommodation, education, anti-bullying legislation to protect LGBT children. It also includes hate crime laws and for prejudice-motivated violence against LGBT people. Bathroom bills affecting access to sex-segregated facilities by transgender people, laws relating to sexual orientation and military service, then assisted reproductive technology, sodomy laws that penalize consensual same-sex, age of consent laws that impose higher ages for same-sex activity, donation of blood by the MSM, sex reassignment, surgery and hormone replacement therapy, and legal recognition and accommodation of a reassigned gender. So all of these things I've read out are what constitute LGBTQ laws. And it's not limited to these. There are even others. You know, LGBTQ succession. You know, when an LGBTQ person dies, I remember reading a law in Africa from an African country. It was very interesting that they allow your married spouse, to get property in your country. And I was like, this country is homophobic. And if I leave the country, if I leave that homophobic country and I go to Europe and I marry a man and I die, and I had land and I had houses, I had property in the homophobic country, that law has given that man a right to get my property. because he's my spouse in Europe. But in this homophobic country, he's not my spouse, but the law has said that the marriage laws of that country will not be cancelled. It's that they will not hinder the spouse from getting the property in that land. And I know there was a very nice movie called A Fantastic Woman, the transgender lady who went out with a man who had a family, and when he died, he had property, and so she had to go and fight for her rights. She also wanted a piece of cake. And I don't know if the guy, I haven't seen the movie properly, but that's what I was reading from the review. I'm yet to watch it, and when I'll watch it, I'll give a proper review about it. But basically, it brought a very good question about succession battles when you have an LGBTQ person in the picture. So basically, that law in that homophobic country, if they don't look at it very well, it's going to, they have given property to the homosexual couples that they oppose. They have already given, so it is done. Even if you don't come to that country to claim the property, it is your property. Legally speaking, the homosexual spouse owns that property. Legally. You can't fight him. Your law says that. So it was just an interesting thing I found in those laws. Now, let's see this paragraph. 25 countries, all of which are developed democracies, listen to that state, or developing democracies, recognize same-sex marriage. Are you seeing? All of which, there are 25 countries that recognize same-sex marriage. By contrast, 10 countries or jurisdictions, all of which are Islamic and ruled by Sharia, impose the death penalty for homosexuality. So there you have it. 25 versus 10. So the LGBTQ side is winning because only Islamic countries do not allow homosexuality. If anything, they can even kill you for being homosexual. Now, what does this mean? It means a lot for the Islamic countries, and I even did it in the other video. I said Islamic countries need help. They need help because it is wrong to kill somebody for who they are. It is basically Nazi to kill somebody for who they are. You know, Nazism was an identity genocide. See, Holocaust. The Holocaust that took place in Germany, it was identity genocide, because not only did they kill Jews, they killed gays, and they also killed disabled people, sick people. And it has always been repeated. Most dictators who tend to be ultranationalist fall into that trap. They like doing away with the weak ones, you know, the ones who are weak. And they use the law to do away with weak ones. They use it to fight their enemies. So like in Germany, the Jews were not really that weak. They were, in fact, the richest, one of the richest social group in Germany and Europe. So Germany was in an economic place, economic disaster, and they wanted to blame somebody. And the easiest person to blame were Jews, because Jews are not indigenously European. They come from the Middle East, but they have lived in Europe for thousands of years, that they look European. So that's why they picked them. And they picked the Jews and they put them in concentration camps. But before they picked them, they also used the laws against weak people, like gay people and the sick people. They used that law to arrest, to hide, even to use it that we are also going to attack the Jews. This is the best time now. That's what Nazi Germany did. And it was a very sad and horrendous. Of course, it's a sad history. But we are grateful now that Germany has since apologized and has even said no more anti-Semitism in Germany, at least by the state, so that they can deal with those who are anti-Semitic. Good. So now back to Islamic countries. So Islamic countries need help because they may fall in the trap of Nazism. They may fall into the trap of anti-Semitism. And sadly, they also tend to be anti-Semitic. And we'll talk about this. Their anti-Semitism really holds no water because most Arabs are actually related to Jews genetically. So why are they fighting their own? I mean, it is the religion. The religion has made them believe that a Jewish person, their brother, is a bad person. Because if you find out that Jews are genetically, you are basically a Jew, even if you're an Arab Muslim. You're actually a Jew. Why then, what's your problem? Let them have the land. It's theirs. It's your brother's land. So because religion has clouded the science of genetics, someone is fighting his own brother. Yes, that's all. That's all that's happening in Israel. They are fighting each other and they are genetically the same. The genetics are similar. So basically, why are they fighting? It's religion. You know, when you have a brother, do you know why people fight brothers? Sisters fight, sister, brother. Why do they fight? And yet they are one blood. It's because they don't agree on something. There's something they don't agree on. And that's what makes them fight each other. So that's what has happened in Israel. Arabs are related to the Jews. Closest relatives, Arabs, genetically. So why are they fighting? They are fighting because there's something else that has divided them, and that is religion. And that's what has happened. Now, we can talk about that forever, so let me not slip there. Now, 2011, United Nations Human Rights Council passed its first resolution, finally, recognizing LGBT rights, following which the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights issued a report documenting violations of rights of LGBT people, including hate crimes, criminalization of homosexual activity, and discrimination. Following the issuance of the report, the United Nations urged all countries which had not yet done so to enact laws protecting basic LGBT rights. We want to kiss that sentence. Congratulations, United Nations, for urging all countries, I like to stress that word, all countries which had not yet done so to enact laws. Congratulations, United. We can even stop the video here. I mean, that's all we needed to hear from the United Nations, that they value LGBTQ persons. Okay. So, okay, this is a history of LGBT related laws. Let's touch a bit because we want to do roll call, roll call. Gonna read. So, come on. Yep. Now, oops, it is jamming on me. Let's wait and see. According to Aristotle, although most belligerent nations were strongly influenced by their women, the Celts were unusual because their men openly preferred male lovers. In the book of Aristotle, Politics, chapter 2, 1269b. And H.D. Rankin in Celts and the Classical World notes that Athenaeus echoes this comment, 603a, and so does Arminius. It seems to be the general opinion of antiquity. So what they're trying to say is the Celts and even here there's a very interesting one by Diodorus Siculus, that Celtic women were beautiful, but that the men preferred to sleep together. Yeah, it's understandable. It doesn't mean, there are some people who believe that if you sleep with men, it means women are ugly. No, women are beautiful, but there are men who love sleeping with men. It's a fact. So it doesn't mean a man who sleeps with a man hates a woman. It's just that he prefers being with men. So you just let them sleep. Yeah, don't disturb them. It doesn't mean the women are ugly. Women are beautiful. They will get their suitors, whoever wants them. But a man who wants to sleep with a man should sleep with a man. And this is what happened in the Celtic world. Ancient India also had descriptions of saints, demigods, and even the Supreme Lord, transcending gender norms and manifesting multiple combinations of sex and gender. Yes, this, in fact, Hinduism is a bigger supporter of LGBTQ persons. The biggest religion that supports LGBTQ people is Hinduism, because they understood. And when you see gods who wear things, saints who wear like women and they are men, like the Supreme Lord even transgendered. He changed. Lord Krishna, by the way, he's very handsome. Hare Krishna, blue, handsome face. Oh my, you can look at that face 1,000 times and smile. Very handsome, and he transgendered. He had to become a lady, and no wonder he did. He was handsome, and for him to do something, he was in love with. I don't know whom he was in love with, and he had to transcend. There's a story, very nice story, we'll read one time. So all of this happened, and these are several stories depicting love between those of the same sex, especially kings and queens. You see, look at the Bible. David loved Jonathan more than he loved women. He even wept. He wept when Jonathan died, and he wept profusely. So kings and queens tend to have that. They have the time because it's their life. And when you're a queen or a celebrity, your sexual life is so public. So it's understandable. But they have time. And the Kama Sutra, the famous book, on love talks about feelings for same sex. Yeah. They even talk about eating. Oral sex was called mango sex. It was eating the mango, and it was done by eunuchs. Eunuchs were the ones who did oral sex. And if you read Kama Sutra, very good book on sex. If you want to understand it, if you want to really understand sex, you should read Kama Sutra. Transsexuals also are venerated. So you see, they also worshipped Lord Vishnu, Mohini, and Lord Shiva, and Adana Rishwara, which means half woman. So you see, some people are half women. Yes. It's beautiful. Now let's go on. Ancient West Asia, ancient Israel. And I'm happy they are using the word ancient. That's what we should be using. And of course, the Torah forbids men lying with men. And then it also gives death penalty for that. I think they do it because based on what happened in Sodom. And then Deuteronomy, cross-dressing is condemned, being abominable. But I've come to tell people, and I tell Christians, and I tell mostly Christians, because Christians take the law of Moses so serious, more than Jews. I tell Christians that you must understand this. Why was this law written? It was written because these things were happening. That's all. So the problem is not people sleeping with the same sex. It happened. It was happening in Israel. And people don't understand laws. They think laws happen and they're written and therefore they are done. It's so, oh, I'm telling you, when you're in a homophobic area, pushing and telling people, you take years for doing that. And the and cross-dressing. You see, this verse of cross-dressing, what does it mean? People were cross-dressing in Israel. And remember, I've told you, Hinduism is the oldest religion. So 80% of what Israelis were doing was already done in India. Yes, they were transgenders. They were cross-dressers in India. So that culture of cross-dressing also came to Israel, not because it came, it's because naturally there are humans who like cross-dressing. Do you know there are some men who love dressing like women? They just love ladies' clothing. That's a sign of a transgender. Yes, it is a sign. You know, liking something, liking is biological. Have you seen a porcupine liking a dress? Its biology is not built to do that. But we humans, we have brains that can make us like things. And some men like dressing like women, and there are women who like dressing like men. Yes, there are women who want to wear, the trousers and jackets and suits and ties. That's a sign of a trans man. He's a transgender. He's a cross-dresser, and then wants to sleep with women, and she's a woman. So that's a sign of a trans man. So these laws I have talked about it ad nauseum. I'm even tired because I've already explained to people that the law was not. When a law is written, it doesn't mean those things are not happening. They happen and will continue happening. It means that they don't want them to happen. But it is a false notion because they will still happen, especially if it is a natural coincidence. And sexuality, LGBTQ, is a natural coincidence. So you waste your time making laws against that. All right, enough of that. Persia, they had monasteries. That's Iran right now. Seminaries to taverns, military camps, bathhouses, coffee houses. Can you imagine they had coffee houses in the year 1500? Wow. In the early Safavid era, male houses of prostitution, even they had a name, Amrad Khane, were legally recognized. Wow. And paid taxes. Beautiful. Look at Iran. And today, they don't even want to know if you are homosexual. They change you. They even tell you, remove your dick and we give you a vagina if you want to sleep with a man. And that's wrong. No, a homosexual is a normal person. Persian poets such as Sadi and Hafiz, he died in 1389, and Jami wrote poems replete with homoerotic allusions. And the two most commonly documented forms were commercial sex with transgender young males or males enacting transgender roles, exemplified by the Cossacks and the Sufi spiritual practices in which the practitioner admired the form of a beautiful boy in order to enter ecstatic states and glimpse the beauty of God. So you see, Sufism, this is Islamic, one of the sects in Islam that is very emotional and they love music and they are very emotional. If you see the Sufi Muslims, and they dance and they go into ecstasy. So imagine this is religion. You can remove sex out of religion. You can remove religion out of sex, but you can't remove sex out of religion. Sex is in all religions. Gays are found in Christianity, they are found in Islam, they are found in Hinduism, they are found everywhere. That's it. And so Sufism allowed homosexuality, because there are some sects in Islam that are very homophobic, like Wahhabism. That's the one that is reigning, and that could be the reason why there are 10 Islamic countries that are opposing homosexuality. It's because of Wahhabism, a very new sect that came and enforced very violent, aggressive Islam. But Sufism is nice. I like it because they inculcate it with music, and it's free, and there are a lot of music. You can go for hours just playing and and you just dance and you go into ecstasy, because the goal of Sufism is to, ecstasy is the presence. It's the, when you are in ecstasy, you are in glory, and that's what they aim for. But in Wahhabism, no time for ecstasy. It's about, you are bad. That's how Wahhabism is. It's just rough aggression, no emotion. All right, Assyria. Assyria, this is a country that is part of Syria and part of Mesopotamia, Iraq, and all of that. Sex crimes were punished identically, whether homosexual or heterosexual. And if a man copulates with his equal from the rear, he becomes the leader among his peers and brothers. Can you see? Yes, some sex relations were seen as good fortune. As Suma Alu says, that if you fuck a man's ass and you're a man, then you'll be the leader among his brothers and peers. However, homosexual relationships between fellow soldiers, slaves, royal attendants, and those in a social beta was submissive or penetrated were treated as bad omens. So, if you slept with somebody, this sentence is saying that if you slept with your soldiers, slaves, or royal attendants, or those where social beta was submissive, you were treated as homosexual relationships involving workers, slaves, royal attendants were seen as bad omens. But if you had same-sex relations with your friend who is not a soldier, not a slave, not a royal attendant, it was considered good luck. So that's the Assyrian belief. Please don't just go and dream of living like that. And the Assyrian law codes of 1075 BC says a particular harsh law: if you sleep with your brother in arms, they shall turn you into an eunuch. Yeah, we discussed this last time. Any Assyrian male could visit a prostitute or lie with another male, just as long as false rumors of forced sex were not involved with another male. So they still had sex with each other. Ancient Rome is the same. The bodies of citizen youths were strictly off limits. Serious. They knew what was going to happen. Les Sancantia imposed penalties on those who committed a sex crime against a freeborn male minor. Acceptable same-sex partners were males excluded from legal protection as citizens. So, can you see what was happening? In Assyria, if you sleep with a slave, it's a bad omen. But in Rome, if you sleep with a slave, male prostitutes, and inframes, entertainers, there was not a problem. You could sleep with a slave, you could sleep with a male prostitute, you could sleep with an infames. Now, I love this. Homosexual and heterosexual were thus not categories of Roman sexuality. Beautiful. Kiss that sentence. And no words exist in Latin that would precisely translate. No words. I love that. I love the humor there. No words exist in Latin that would precisely translate these concepts. Literally, they could not explain. So if you meet an Italian of those days and say, "Are you homosexual?" you just look at you and say, "What is that?" "Are you heterosexual?" The same Italian will look at you, "What are you talking about?" But they were doing it. Yes, so the male citizen willingly performed oral sex and received anal sex, was disparaged, but there was only limited evidence of legal penalties against men who were doing that. In the courtroom, charges of effeminacy and passive sexual behaviors were directly particular at democratic politicians such as Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. Yes, yeah, I believe Julius Caesar and Mark Antony really had something going. Truly, I can believe that, and Mark Antony, I'm so glad he stayed close to Julius Caesar. Now, Roman law addressed the rape of a male citizen as early as 2nd century BC. So basically, there's so much to talk about. I was doing roll call, and I think Rome has real history about homosexuality. And very, very big. Look at that. All these paragraphs. Wow. Wow. And by the end of the 4th century, after the Roman Empire had become Christian, passive homosexuality was punishable by burning. And that's where you got the word faggot, because they would burn the homosexuals with sticks. And people use, that's why a cigarette is called fags, because sticks are the only things that get on fire. And you can see Christians, look at what the Christians did. They brought the Torah, they made the Torah Roman, and they punished men who coupled like a woman under the Theodosian Code. Now look at Congo. Pritchard, one of my favorite anthropologists, recorded that in the past, male Azande warriors in northern Congo routinely took on young male lovers between the ages of 12 and 20 who helped them with household tasks and participated in intercrural sex with their older husbands. The practice died, of course, by the early 20th century after the Europeans gained control of African countries, but was recounted to Evans Pritchard by the elders to whom he spoke. Yes, so you see, in Africa, homosexuality has been there. And it's the Azande. These are tribe not only in northern Africa, northern Congo, but in South Sudan. It's still there, the Zande tribe. And they used to do this. And Pritchard was a very serious anthropologist. And the boys were called boy wives. And of course, look at what happened. The Europeans came and distorted African cultures and norms, but now they are coming back again because it was natural. Now, who taught them Azande? Did the Azande go to Europe for courses? They did. It's natural to fall in love with the same sex. Feudal Japan. Homosexuality was recognized between equals bido in terms of pederasty, wakashudo, and in terms of prostitution. The warrior class of the samurai, it was customary for a boy in the wakashu age to undergo training in the martial arts by a pretense apprenticing to a more experienced adult man. And the man was permitted. If the boy agreed to take the boy as his lover, he would come of age. The relationship formalized into a brotherhood contract. So you see, even the samurai did so. Lesotho reported that women in Lesotho engaged in socially sanctioned long-term erotic relationships. They even have a name, Motsoale. And I agree with this. I really know this happened. There is a proof. Stephen Murray and Will Roscoe. Roscoe is also a very nice anthropologist. And he discusses the fact that lesbianism in Lesotho. Yes, it's beautiful. Papua New Guinea, they also did have the same-sex relationships. Etoro and Marind Anim viewed heterosexuality as wasteful and celebrated homosexuality instead. You see? Some people value heterosexuality, others don't. It is normal. Yeah, some people value homosexuality more than heterosexuality. And they believed that in sharing semen, they are sharing their life force. Yet women simply wasted this force anytime they didn't get pregnant after sex. So you see, these people they still have beliefs like this. And they believe that if you put semen in a woman and she doesn't give birth, you've wasted it. But if you sleep with a man, you will never waste semen with a man because you're sharing life. And somehow I'm studying the biology of gay sex, raw sex, where is exchange of semen. And I believe this to be true because you absorb the semen of the man you've slept. And so this semen is genetic material that is entering the receiver. Can you imagine? It's beautiful. So that's what happened. Traditional Melanesian cultures, boys paired with an older adolescent who became his mentor and who would inseminate him orally, anally, or topically, depending on the tribe, over a number of years, in order for the young boy also to reach puberty. Beautiful. I didn't want to go through that, but I just did so, and it has been a nice ride. Sorry that we are driving very slowly. Okay, let's see. Okay, we want to come and do roll call. Is this going to open up? I think we've already looked at the maps, and we've already seen this in depth. We've already seen it in depth, so we don't need to go through that. What is this? This is so weird. Okay, let's leave that. I want us to go to roll call, and then we are done with the video. Oh, there's so many maps, very many maps. This is a very good article. Congratulations to Wikipedia for doing such a wonderful article. Look at that. Wow. We can't go through that now. I mean, we'll sleep for another. We'll be it's too much. So now let's do roll call. Algeria is in the closet. Canary Islands, out. Ceuta, out. Egypt, out. Libya, in the closet. Madeira, out. Melilla, out. Morocco, in the closet. Sahrawi, Arab Democratic Republic, in the closet. South Sudan, in the closet. Sudan, in the closet. Tunisia, in the closet. Now let's come to Western Africa. Roll call by the headmaster, Rex Arthur. Benin, out. Burkina Faso, out. Cape Verde, out. Gambia is in the closet. Ghana, it is in the closet, but in a weird way. Lesbians are free in Ghana. Always legal. Look at that. Oh, what a joke. Very interesting. Guinea, in the closet. Guinea-Bissau, out. Ivory Coast, out. Liberia, in the closet. Mali, out. Mauritania, in the closet. Look at that. Death by stoning. Disaster. This is a country that needs help. How do you still stone people? So sad. Niger. Wow, that's good for Niger. Out. Nigeria, in the closet. Senegal, in the closet, forgive me, in the closet. Sierra Leone, in the closet, and is out for females. So lesbians are free in Sierra Leone. Are you seeing the similarity? Western Africa, lesbianism is not really attacked. They attack homosexuality, gay men. And Togo, in the closet. Now let's come to Central Africa. Central Africa, I think what we would have done, I don't want to do that. That would take a lot of time. I don't think I would do that. I would have wanted to count. No, we won't do a head count. That will be left to you. So in Central Africa, Cameroon, in the closet. Central Africa, out. Chad, out. DRC, oops, no, Chad, in the closet. I think I'm wired to say out because I'm happy to see many green ticks in some African countries. Chad, in the closet. DRC, out. Equatorial Guinea, out. Gabon, out. Republic of the Congo, out. Saint Helena, Ascension, and Tristan de Cunha, out. Sao Tome and Principe, out. Now let's come to Southeast Africa. Burundi, in the closet. Kenya, in the closet. Rwanda, out. Tanzania, in the closet. Uganda, in the closet. They don't know what to do with lesbians. Horn of Africa. Djibouti, out. Eritrea, in the closet. Ethiopia, in the closet. Somalia, in the closet. Somaliland, in the closet. They even put the skeleton, the skull, to show death penalty. Comoros, where is Comoros? In the Indian Ocean states. In the closet. French Southern and Antarctic lands, out. Madagascar, out. Mauritius, out, but females are allowed to do lesbianism. Mayotte, out. Reunion, out. Seychelles, out. Beautiful. Now we have islands to visit. Southern Africa. Angola, in the closet. Botswana, in the closet. Eswatini, in the closet, but female lesbianism allowed. You see, the Southern Africans, there's affinity of women having sex with each other. Lesotho, male have male sex. It is out, and females also, so it's out. Congratulations, Lesotho. Malawi, in the closet. Mozambique, out. Lovely. Namibia, in the closet, but lesbians, again, a Southern African trait. South Africa, out. Zambia, in the closet. Zimbabwe, in the closet, but lesbians are free. So it seems these Southern African countries are similar to Western African countries. But the Eastern African countries, I think, affected by religion, Arabic religion and Christianity, are not giving even lesbians a chance. Now let's come to list of countries, territories in the Americas. So there's a lot of outs here. Bermuda, out. Canada, out. Greenland, out. Mexico, out. St. Pierre and Miquelon, out. United States of America, Uncle Sam, out. Now let's come to Central America. Belize, out. Costa Rica, out. El Salvador, out. Guatemala, out. Honduras, out. Nicaragua, out. Panama, out. Caribbean. Let's come to the Caribbean islands. Very beautiful islands. Anguilla, out. Antigua and Barbuda, illegal. Aruba, I like that what they've said about Antigua and Barbuda. It's illegal, but it's not enforced. They don't enforce it. So these are countries who are in the closet. Aruba, out. Bahamas, out. Barbados, in the closet. British Virgin Islands, out. Caribbean Netherlands, out. Cayman Islands, out. Cuba, out. Curacao, out. Dominica, in the closet. Look at that. They put you in a psychiatric institution. Dominican Republic, out. Grenada, out. Lesbians, free. Guadeloupe, out. Haiti, out. Oh, congratulations, Haiti. That's beautiful. Lovely. Jamaica, in the closet. Lesbians, free. Martinique, out. Montserrat, out. Puerto Rico, out. St. Barthélemy, out. St. Kitts and Nevis, in the closet. Lesbians are free. Okay, let me not say that. That English is not making sense. If I say in the closet, then lesbians are free. That sounds wrong. So let's just put it that it's in the closet. Even if lesbians are allowed, it is in the closet. So we have to edit that statement. Like now, St. Lucia, in the closet. No mentioning lesbians for the sake of sentence construction. St. Martin, out. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in the closet. St. Martin, out. Trinidad and Tobago, out. Turks and Caicos Islands, out. United States Virgin Islands, out. Argentina, out. Bolivia, out. Brazil, out. Look at Brazil, where now the man, what is he called? Jair, the new president of Brazil, President Jair now, he's going to fight a law that was placed in 1831. All the best. He won't fight it. I mean, homosexuality is so natural. So Bolsonaro has no way to fight homosexuality. It's a waste of time. Chile, out. Colombia, out. Ecuador, out. Falkland Islands, out. French Guiana, out. Guyana, in the closet. Paraguay, out. Peru, out. South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands, out. Suriname, out. Uruguay, out. Venezuela, out. Now let's come to Asia, the great continent, ancient continent. Afghanistan, in the closet. Kyrgyzstan, out. Tajikistan, out. Turkmenistan, in the closet. Uzbekistan, in the closet. Eurasia, Abkhazia, out. Akrotiri and Dekilia, out. Armenia, out. Artsakh, out. Azerbaijan, out. Cyprus, out. Georgia, out. Kazakhstan, out. Northern Cyprus, out. Russia, out. Are you seeing? It is only Chechnya where they do not allow homosexuality, and they are even creating concentration camps. Disaster. I don't know what Putin is doing, staying with a president who has lost his head. He should go and rein in down Chechnya, because it's a joke. In your country, you've allowed homosexuals since 1993, and you have a neighbor called Chechnya in your territory, and you're just watching. Disaster. Chechnya is being run by a madman, that's all. South Ossetia, out. Turkey, out. West Asia, Bahrain, out. Iran, in the closet. Look at them, still lashing humans in the 21st century. Look at the lashes women receive. 50. Disaster. Yes, I told someone I want to go to Iran to deal with this disastrous legal disaster that's there. Iraq, out. Wonderful. Israel, out. The land that had a Torah that banned homosexuality has done the best thing and said, no, we are out. Jordan, out. Kuwait, in the closet. Lesbians, no, I'm so sorry, I won't say that. It's in the closet, even if lesbians can have sex. Lebanon, out. Oman, oh, sorry. Lebanon, too much outs I was reading. In the closet. Oman, in the closet. Palestine, wow, that's nice. Out. But look at Gaza. Very interesting. Oh, let me keep that to myself. Qatar, in the closet. Saudi Arabia, in the closet. Look at the torture. Saudi Arabia. You see, this is the home of Wahhabism. Life, fines, whipping, flogging, castration, torture, death, disaster. Thorough disaster. Needs help. Syria, in the closet. United Arab Emirates, in the closet. Yemen, in the closet. Look at them, whipping, stoning, married men. Are you seeing? They're even punishing bisexuals. This is sad. Women. Disaster. South Asia, in the closet. I mean, oh, sorry. I mean Bangladesh. The list is so long, so I think I'm getting tired. The headmaster is a bit tired, so I needed some water. Bangladesh, in the closet. Bhutan, in the closet. British Indian Ocean Territory, out. India, out. Congratulations, India. Maldives, in the closet. Weeping. Can you imagine? 21st century. Nepal, out. Pakistan, in the closet. But look at there in the closet. Very weird. 2 years. Oh, all right. Not weird. Sri Lanka, in the closet. What is that? I'm not understanding that English. Illegal legalization. Oh, it's illegal. Okay. Yeah. I'm telling you, these days, internet English is so poor. They should have put a full stop. Okay, it's okay. No problem. We understood what they wrote. East Asia. China, out. Congratulations. Thank goodness Africa is trading with is trading with an LGBTQ country. Congratulations to China. Welcome to Africa. And now teach the people how to respect all rights, LGBTQ rights. Hong Kong, out. Japan, out. Macau, out. Mongolia, out. North Korea, out. I love the statement here. No laws against same-sex sexual activity has ever existed in the country. Congratulations. Yes. I was wondering, I thought to myself that communist countries tend to be very kind, and I was really wondering I thought North Korea, some people would say otherwise, so that's understandable. Good. South Korea, out. Even despite, and I like South Korea, though it's a Christian country, it is out. Taiwan, out. Southeast Asia, Brunei, in the closet. Cambodia, out. East Timor, out. Indonesia, out. And look at Indonesia. They have Muslims. Oh. No. It's legal nationwide, except it's illegal in Aceh and Sumatra, South Sumatra, and applies only to Muslims. Okay, amongst the others, fine. Laos, out. Malaysia, in the closet. Whippings, can you imagine? Sad. Myanmar, in the closet. Philippines, out. Look at Duarte. Thank you for not disturbing LGBT persons, even though you have problems. Singapore, in the closet. They need help. A very beautiful country. I don't know why they are still sleeping in helping the LGBT persons in their country. Thailand, out. Yeah, that's nice. Vietnam, out. Oh, the headmaster is going on. And Europe, oh my goodness, prepare for a lot of outs. European Union, legal in all 28 member states. Congratulations to European Union. And Austria, out. Croatia, out. Czech Republic, out. Germany, out. Hungary, out. Liechtenstein, out. Poland, out. Slovakia, out. Slovenia, out. Switzerland, out. Abkhazia, out. Armenia, out. Artsakh, out. Azerbaijan, out. Belarus, out. Georgia, out. Kazakhstan, out. Moldova, out. Romania, out. Russia, okay, we had done this. South Ossetia, I think we've done most of Europe. Denmark, out. Estonia, out. Faroe Islands, out. Finland, out. Iceland, out. Latvia, out. Lithuania, out. Norway, out. Sweden, out. Akrotiri, I think I did this. Yes, I did. Okay, I think I did it in a different way. So Akrotiri and Dekilia, out. Albania, out. Andorra, out. Bosnia, out. Bulgaria, out. Cyprus, out. Gibraltar, out. Greece, out. Italy, out. Kosovo, out. Macedonia, out. Malta, out. Montenegro, out. Northern Cyprus, out. Portugal, out. San Marino, out. Serbia, out. Spain, out. Turkey, out. Vatican City, out. Can you imagine? And the Pope sits there. I mean, the popes of before were sitting there quietly and telling people, we don't understand transgenders. And here you are. You have been out since 1890. Western Europe, Belgium, out. France, out. Guernsey, out. Ireland, out. Isle of Man, out. Jersey, out. Luxembourg, out. Monaco, out. Netherlands, out. United Kingdom, out. Australia, out. New Zealand, out. Melanesia, I like that word, Melanesia. Melanin. It's Melanin Asia. That's Black Asia. Fiji, out. New Caledonia, out. Papua New Guinea, in the closet. Solomon Islands, I like how he freeze. Because you say so many outs, and then when you see an X, you don't know what to say. It's freezing. I'm shocked to see the X's. I've not seen a lot of X's. That's why the freezing happens. Solomon Islands, in the closet. Vanuatu, out. And Micronesia, now that one means small Asia. Guam, out. Micronesia, out. Kiribati, out. Marshall Islands, out. Nauru, out. Northern Mariana Islands, out. Palau, out. United States Minor Outlying Islands, out. Polynesia, meaning many Asians, many Asias. American Samoa, out. Easter Island, out. Cook Islands, in the closet. French Polynesia, out. Niue, out. Pitcairn Island, out. Samoa, in the closet. Tokelau, out. Tonga, in the closet. Tuvalu, in the closet. Wallis and Futuna, out. All right, so we have done that. We have done roll call, and the roll call is done. And congratulations to those students who are out, and the ones who are in the closet. We are going for more understanding until you also come out and let LGBTQ people to be who they are. So that is what we had to do. We had to do roll call, and we've done it. And now it is official. Only 70 countries in the world do not allow LGBTQ rights. And that means that is roughly about 2/3 of the world. 2/3 of the world allows LGBTQ rights. So 1/3 is still left behind, roughly 1/3. So we're going to hope these nations, especially, and what I like about this is it is the Islamic nations that need help. So what it means, we really need to understand Islam, how to address the Islamic problem. And the Islamic problem is, when you study Islam as a religion, it is a very ancient religion. So it is a religion that has not gone through a lot of amendments. And that is what people need to understand about Islam. That it's a very ancient, and even how they indoctrinate people, the young people, you are indoctrinated at a very early age. So being brainwashed in the religion is very very possible. But there's something you need to understand about Islamic countries. When you have a law against LGBTQ rights, even in Africa, it doesn't mean it's not happening in those countries. Yes, it doesn't mean it's happening, but people, it's not known, it's underground. Now, the problem of having underground things is you have poor demographics, poor data, poor planning. If you don't have data, please, what are you planning? You cannot plan without data collection. That's the system you're in. The Western system is a data system, data driven. So if you don't collect data, if you don't know who is LGBTQ, if you don't know those things, guess what? You are going to have problems in planning. HIV and AIDS, you cannot treat it well because you don't know your population. Because these countries that are closeted, they'll just tell you, yes, it's happening amongst the key populations, but do you know how many are they? Yes. You see, if you really want to solve a problem, understand the problem, and then you will solve the problem. So that's why I'm saying for Islam, you have to understand Islam. Homosexuality really happens even in these Islamic red countries and African countries that are mixed with Islam and Christianity. It really does happen. The problem they have is that, number one, majority of the politicians are people who come from that class that believes and values religion. And so it shapes their understanding of sex. So that's the problem we have in Africa and the Middle East. But the more people get understanding and the science, then you will see a very big change in these countries. All right, enough of roll call. Thank you so much for staying with us till up this time. Enjoy your week.